Hello, it's Christmas Eve, and we've already looked at 23 out of 24 of our self-programmable games, our type-ins. So what's behind door number 24, I wonder? We'll have a look in just a minute, but first let's have a recap of what we've looked at this month. So that's brought us up to date. Those are the 23 we've looked at so far. A little bit later we'll have a look at my top 3 favourites out of these, and we'll also have a look at which one I think is the turkey of the bunch, as it's Christmas, seems appropriate. We'll see what Retro Sheep's Christmas turkey is. But first, let's have a look at our self-programmable game, our type-in for Christmas Eve, and this game is called Robot Ron, and this was from Volume 1, Issue number 9 of Computing With The Amstrad. There it is. Evil weevils are on the loose, threatening to take over the screen. We've got to shoot them. So we'll find page 40. And there it is, another game by Roland Waddilove for Computing With The Amstrad. He's done some really good stuff that we've seen through this series. And there's a screenshot. And the usual as we turn over, at the bottom of the code, give your fingers a rest. Again, if you didn't want to type them in, cassettes were available. Never realised they were so easily available. So, this is my choice for Christmas Eve. Let's take a look at it. So, a nice bit of menu music with this game. So there's been an outbreak of mutant evil weevils, again, and these nasty creatures must be exterminated at all costs. So we're going to be trying to blast them and clear each screen in turn. In goes Robot Ron with his zap gun. So let's press space. And we've seen those high scores before somewhere as well. I think it was Missile Command on December the 22nd. Right, let's get a game going. Here we go. So you control Ron there, in the middle of the screen you start. And you've got to blast all of these. Only one shot on screen at any one time. And the more of these that you destroy, the faster they move. So by the time you get to the last couple, they're going to be moving quite fast across the screen. You can destroy the scenery, so that's a good way of shooting them. You can sort of shoot through the walls. And there we go, a bit of random scenery with each screen. It's a good idea to get out of there quickly. Ooh, right, there we go. You can hear that sort of bleep in the background, that little sound effect there. That sort of increases in pitch the more of them you destroy. Creates a sense of urgency in the level. And that's another screen done. We get a very generous 10 lives. And it looks as though I need them because I'm rubbish. The direction you shoot is the last direction that you move in. There is a slight exception to that, I think. If the last direction you move in is movement that takes place when there's still a shot on screen, then it doesn't sort of register as a movement change. So I'm shooting left there now and my last movement's up, but I'll still shoot left even though my last movement was up, because when I moved up there was still a bullet travelling left. It's another explanation. It's as clear as mud. I seem to be good at those. When you get to screen 9, it just loops around again and again, so we'll have to play screen 9 quite a few times. But we'll let the game play through for a bit now. Let's see if we can get the score up a bit before we finish. Well, we've reached 118 points. I think it's probably time to draw this one to a close, so we'll just lose our lives very quickly. And there it is, game over. 122 points, and put our name in the high score table. Very good fun, that game. And well done to Roland Waddilove. So it's the last video of this sort of series that we've been looking at. So yeah, let's play one more game of this, and then we'll have a few little extras at the end.
Well, we just about managed to beat the high score there. It was a bit of a self-imposed handicap though, because it was under the influence of red wine, but there we go, just by a single point.
Just before we start wrapping things up though, just to cast your mind back to the title screen and the deliberate error there, deliberate typo. Those are the little things that can go wrong when you're doing your own typing in.
I would have been very, very young though when I made this mistake, so, well, assuming it was me, might have been someone else older who should have known better, who knows. But thinking back to the start of the month, we said you can do your own changes and modifications and all that, so let's do that now. Let's change the text entry. Let's make it a bit chastening there.
That'll do, that should be enough. Okay, let's run it. That's more like it. Right, that's it for Robot Ron and the Evil Weevils. So as I mentioned earlier on, let's see what Retro Sheep's Christmas turkey is. Which game have I enjoyed the least over the last 3.5 weeks? Well, I can understand some people thinking it might have been Formula 1 or one of the very early games that I did, but it's actually the one that I did on December the 9th. In the end, it's the game called Defense Zone, and it looks pretty nice for what little detail there is, but it's practically unplayable, unfortunately, because you get these random messages about Earth being destroyed. Worst of all, the controls just don't seem to respond at all, really. You can move left or right, and the ships don't seem to get any closer to the crosshair at all. Sometimes most of the time, actually, when you fire your weapon, it can lag for up to anything from about 2, 3, 4 seconds before the shot's actually fired, and it makes it unplayable, unfortunately. But enough said about that. We'll move on to my favourite 3. In spite of the crash that we encountered when I was recording the video, this is actually still one of my favourites. It's Drogner. This was from the 6th of December, where you go around collecting all the safe shapes and colours. It takes little bit of thought, bit of planning, and good reflexes. Yes, there's a little bit of key lag, but luckily it's not so bad that it sort of takes away the gameplay. So that's a very good game from Jeff Turner. That was one of those games from Computing With The Amstrad, and that was the same issue as Robot Run, actually, so that was a very good issue for these type-in games. The next game making my top 3 is this one, Smiley vs. the Grumpies. This was in the very first issue of Computing with the Amstrad, volume number 1, issue number 1, back in January 1985. A game from Roland Waddilove, and based on the Pac-Man sort of principle, this was a good bit of fun to play, this one. And then the other one that makes the top 3 is the one that we've seen today. It's Robot Ron, also by Roland Waddilove. So we won't dwell on that one too much because we've already seen quite a bit of it. So that's it. The AMSvent calendar is complete. It's all over. So in finishing, for people who celebrate Christmas, I'll wish you a Merry Christmas, and if you don't, well, thank you for watching the videos anyway. I hope you enjoyed them. And yeah, fascinating little insight into the world of the sort of type-in program, self-programmable games. And yeah, that's it.
And yeah, really hope everyone enjoyed it. It's been quite a lot of work, actually, right from the start, from salvaging all the old cassette tape and backing up the old programs to then actually playing the games and recording them and drawing up this calendar and animating the windows, the music in Arcos Tracker as well. That took a fair bit of work. I'm actually going to tack on the Arcos Tracker music to the end here, because just in case anyone wants to get into the festive spirit, 8-bit style. So hopefully I'll be back in 2020. Enjoy. Bye for now.